So the next step for getting this working is we need to actually have our shaders. So that way we have a way of rendering it normally and also with our different visor effects. To do this, we're going to use different passes. We need one pass that behaves just like the default URP lit shader. So we're going to go down to our packages and find Universal Render Pipeline. Then go down to shaders here and just click on this folder. In here, there should be one called lit. Open it up. And then while we're in the URP folder, we're also going to go to editor. And then there should be one called shader GUI. Under shading models, copy the lit detail GUI. And then in the shaders folder, the lit shader. Both of these scripts, you'll need both of them, and you'll copy them into a folder named editor in your assets. This folder has to be named editor or else Unity will not recognize it and you won't be able to use the custom editor for it. So copy these both into this folder and rename them to be appropriate for what you want your shader to be named. So then go over to Visual Studio, and I have these already open. So in this, I took this was originally a lit shader, but I renamed it to visor shader. This is an internal class. And in here, there's only a few things we need to change. There should be a detail GUI class that it calls. It'll be named lit detail GUI, but if I change this back to lit, what you'll see is it's not accessible, which is why we had to copy and paste a custom version of it over. So if we change it to whatever we named it, I did visor detail GUI, and you'll have to change it everywhere in this script where it appears. It'll give you the errors so you'll know where to change it. Then you may also get an error for some of these methods saying that the method is protected. If it is protected, just change it from protected to public here and it should fix it. We're kind of just doing a bit of a workaround here to get this working. Then in the shader detail GUI here, there should be a bunch of stuff. You'll have to change the name here so that way you can find the class when you're calling it elsewhere. And then everything else inside we're going to leave the same. We're just going to add some stuff. So in the styles class, we're going to add two sections here, one for our heat map and one for our density map. These are the names and tooltips. Then in the properties struct, we're going to add 4 material properties. One for our heat map, our heat multiplier, our density map, and our density multiplier. And then in the constructor here, we're going to register these by finding the property with the associated name. So in our shader that we have, we're going to need to have different properties that match this name exactly. So whatever you want your properties named, make sure it matches in both the shader and the detail GUI registration. Then under the do detail area method, we're going to add in, I just took what was up here and I copied it twice, and I did it once for the heat map by filling in instead the heat map info, properties.heatmap, heat multiplier. I did that for the heat and then for the density. Otherwise, there's nothing else you need to do in this script. You can just save it. The last thing is at the very bottom of our shader where it says custom editor, you need to change it from shader.gui.lit shader to shader.gui.visor shader, or whatever you named that class. So you need to make sure that you have the name set equal so that way you tell it to use this custom editor. Now in Unity, if you go to any material made with this shader, now if you go under detail inputs, because we were editing the lit detail GUI property, you should have your heat map appear and your density map appear, and it should have a multiplier plus the tiling and offset. So if these appear, you did it right.